Does anybody else find it insane how much of our childhood we spend in a classroom? As soon as you're old enough to be in a room without shitting your pants, bam, you're just thrown into kindergarten. And from that day until you're 18, school becomes your full-time job. 5 days a week, 10 months a year for 14 years.
We send our children to school to prepare them for the real world, which is changing very, very fast. But our schools haven't changed much for hundreds of years.
One of the biggest issues with the current state of education in the US is over-testing. And on top of sometimes dominating course curriculum, standardized tests can often provoke anxiety, anger, and stress, regardless of how they're used.
Show me your values, show me your student schedules, and I'll show you what your school values. When we think about this, I tend to think back to a student I had about 10 years ago who came to me upset about, she was in the process of writing an essay for college, and she came to me in the hallway. She was in tears and just destroyed and just about ready to collapse because she just couldn't get her essay right. And I thought to myself, no problem, let's sit down, we'll have an hour, we'll knock this out, I'll work with you. So she says, great, I'll email you, I'll give you some times. About a week later, I don't hear from her. And so I find her in the hallway again, and I'm like, what's going on? She says to me, I can't find a single hour to work on this essay. And I'm thinking, 17-year-old, this is probably hyperbole. Let's take a look at your schedule. She shows me her schedule, and it looks something like this. She's got everything mapped day to day. She's got barely a half an hour a day to do anything that's her own.
Kids just in school kind of puzzled as to why they're there.
We're going to start with a standardized test, just to make sure that none of you are idiots.
We do have a set curriculum where we sometimes feel that we're constrained by and have to stick to, and it's not until we maybe work with a creative person through some other program and we see children learning in other ways and we think, this has something here. We need to create these critical thinkers that are going to be the innovators of our future, but we have to give them the tools necessary to be those creative thinkers.
And what will they cover? What, in fact, should schools be doing to teach kids important skills that are useful in life? Communication, or teamwork, or figuring out complex situations, or characteristics and character traits like determination and perseverance and resourcefulness, being able to stand up to failure, being bold, or appreciating the wonder in nature and human achievement, or capabilities we all need, like setting bold goals for yourself, learning how to learn, being able to persevere through difficulties, finding your passion and purpose in life, and figuring out how you can make your world better.
Most of my students are high schoolers. They have jobs, they have FFA, they have sports, they're in practice, they're in band, they have other responsibilities outside of school. Some of them are going home and taking care of their younger siblings because their parents are at work. Some of them just need to go home and sleep. Some of them have to go home and worry about how they're gonna eat because there's no food at their house. So if I also give them hours of homework, when do they have time to be kids?
Our country is the most innovative and determined on the face of the planet in a time that begs for those skills. Let's educate to our strength instead of chasing Shanghai and South Korea on standardized tests. Let's change the center of the universe in education from accountability and failed test measures, and make the center of education be inspiration and engagement and trust and purpose. And let's carry the message forward to all schools that what we want you to do is to prepare our kids for life.